What's up, guys? Welcome to the line change. In this video, we're going to be doing our Abbotsford Canucks Game 2 of the Calder Cup Finals recap. Yes, I'm a day late. Apologies for that. But we're going to get into it. We're going to recap it. And actually, after having seen that Abby lost Game 2 in overtime, just going to get... You guys know that sad baby meme? Well, that was pretty much me after seeing Abby lose Game 2 and not being up 2-0 in the series. The Game 2 curse has struck again, but for those of you that don't know which meme I'm talking about, this is the meme that I'm talking about. This one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. That was me after, the Game 2 loss. But before we get into this recap, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, the guy who made that incredible artwork you see just over my shoulder there. There you go. Get a good look at the Quinn Hughes one there. And yeah, so I'd like to thank my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art. Gassy Jack Art produces hockey prints on archival paper and canvas that have been rated to last over 100 years. The product range features a variety of players from different teams, including the Edmonton Oilers, Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Calgary Flames, Colorado Avalanche, as well as your Vancouver Canucks and more. They also have some non-hockey related prints, such as baseball prints, wrestling prints, some prints from films as well. So go ahead and check them out at GassyJackArt.com. They also currently have their end of season sale going on where you can add 4 prints to your cart and 2 of them will be free when you go to check out. These prints range from $20 to $25, so you're getting a steal of a deal here paying $40 for 4 prints instead of $80. Definitely take advantage of this deal while you can before the sale ends. You can also find Gassy Jack Art on Instagram at Gassy Jack Art. These prints are so incredibly detailed. I myself have about 10 prints and intend on continuing to add my collection. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to GassyJackArt.com and get your prints today. All right, so let me just take a quick sip. Need to hydrate a little bit. By the way, if you guys haven't tried this pineapple Fanta, oh, it's so good. Mwah. I am like addicted to this right now. So if you guys want to go give it a try, they have, I believe, a strawberry flavor as well, but not really a big fan of that one as it tastes too much like strawberry syrup. But this pineapple one, so good. You can probably find it at your local gas station, maybe even a grocery store. I've been finding it at gas stations. So a little cheap, non-sponsor plug right there for Fanta. But let's go ahead and dive right into this recap. Once again, as always, brought to us by our friends at Canucks Army, and in particular, Mr. Dave Hall. So the Abbotsford Canucks rolled into Game 2 of the AHL Calder Cup Finals with a golden opportunity. Enjoy a 2-0 series lead after a double overtime steal and a chance to head back to the Fraser Valley with a stranglehold on the Charlotte Checkers. But the Eastern Conference champions had other plans. Unleashing a relentless 42-shot barrage on Artur Silovs in a sold-out Bojangles' Coliseum, Charlotte dominated stretches and capitalized on both turnovers and special teams. Silovs, fresh off a 51-save marathon, was a brick wall again, but with just 13 shots going the other way, he could only do so much. With a power play dagger from Michael Benning, more on him in a second, or rather a little later, the Checkers sealed a 3-2 overtime win, knotting the series at 1-1. Let's take a look at this game's starting lineup. Although Game 1 wasn't perfect, it ended with a win. As a result, Manny Malhotra continued to roll a successful formula with just one change in the lineup, with fourth liner Ty Glover replacing Dino Gambites. That meant that rookie Jonathan Lekramacky continued to ride the press box, having missed his third consecutive game. This has me with a bit of a theory that perhaps Lekramacky could be part of a package that they haven't announced yet. That's just a little, theory that I have, as he's been scratched for 3 consecutive games. We'll see if later today, if he's scratched again for a 4th consecutive game, could that, basically seal the end of Lekramacky's run with the Abbotsford Canucks as well as the Vancouver Canucks. But we'll get to that at another time. Fresh off a 51 save performance, Artur Silovs got the knot between the pipes for his 20th consecutive start. You had your first line of Di Giuseppe, the Pizza Man, Max Sasson, and Linus Karlsson. Then you had Baines, Mueller, and Klemovich as your second line. Your third line, Blais, Kara, and Smith. And your fourth line, Nielsen, Waters, and Glover. You had your first D pairing of Brisebois and Mancini, and then Wolanin and Wu, followed by Hirose and Kudryavtsev. And then, of course, Artie Party, the Archers, Silovs in net. Let's take a look at the first period. Fueled by some nerves and egregious giveaways, the Canucks were pinned out the gate, staving off several looks early on, showing no signs of wear from his 51 saves less than 48 hours prior. Artur Silovs was sharp early, but the arguable playoff MVP could only handle so many odd man rushes. Following a pair of defensive giveaways, the Checkers pressed and found a wide open man in front. Charlotte would score to make it 1-0 within the first 3 minutes. John Leonard from Rasmus Asplund, may have butchered that name, but choking up on his stick, John Leonard poked the puck past the sliding Silovs to open the scoring just 3 minutes into the game, as I mentioned. But trailing hasn't fazed the Canucks much during this playoff run, and they delivered an equalizing punch just 1 minute later. Abbotsford would score to make it 1-1. Sammy Blais from Jujhar Khaira. Forcing the offensive turnover, Sammy Blais transitioned the puck to Jujhar Khaira, who took his time with his shot on Kaapo Kähkönen. Unable to handle the rebound, the puck bounced back out to Blais, who managed to get a stick on the puck and drive it past the line. Despite a lengthy review, the goal was deemed good by the referees, but it wasn't without its controversy, as Sammy Blais was handed a goaltender interference penalty on the play. It's a scenario you don't see often, but the Canucks will take it. A penalty and a goal in the same play? That's just Sammy Blais hockey, folks. On that penalty kill, it was the Canucks enjoying the best chance following yet another giveaway in the game. Finding himself behind the defense, Chase Waters, who led the team with 3 shorthanded goals in the regular season, was sent on a clear-cut breakaway where he elected for the backhand move. Kähkönen managed to get his body on the puck before his defense bailed him out on the rebound. Although they managed to kill things off, Linus Karlsson took a cross-checking penalty just past the midway point of the period. This time, Charlotte made it count. Charlotte would score to make it 2-1. Wilmer Skoog would score unassisted. Collecting the puck at his own line, Wilmer Skoog saw the C part in front of him, signaling an open lane to rush. Gaining the zone, he faked a slap shot to free Silovs before snapping the shot up and over his shoulder. Canucks didn't learn, instantly taking another penalty in the corner, this time courtesy of a Christian Wolanin slash, but Silovs brushed the last goal off and continued to provide saves for his team, weathering the storm to keep his team in it. After a Jesse Puljujarvi interference penalty, it was the Canucks' top unit's turn to go to work. Utilizing some good movement, they kicked things off strong, working the perimeter, crashing the net, and grabbing several chances for the equalizer. They never let up, and eventually it paid off. Abbotsford would score to make it 2-2. Linus Karlsson from Sammy Blais and Archie Baines. Continuing to work the passing game, they connected for the perfect bumper play, going Baines to Blais to Karlsson. Showing strong patience, Karlsson cut toward the middle and forced the puck behind Kähkönen to tie the game in the paint. It was a sigh of relief for the Swede, who had a tough first half with a giveaway that directly led to the opening goal and an unnecessary cross-checking penalty. With his 10th goal, he officially hops over the leaderboard to sit at the top as the Calder Cup goal scorer. As for Sammy Blais, the primary assist was his third helper of the series and fourth point. He may lead the Calder Cup playoffs with 71 penalty minutes, which hasn't always been a positive, but he's been a substantial addition to this team's run with 16 points. Of course, it wouldn't be a Calder Cup final without some rough stuff. Credit to the Canucks for hanging around for this one, as was the case in much of Game 1. It wasn't their best hockey, but they managed to come out relatively unscathed on the scoreboard. Final shots after one period were 16-7 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at the second period. As if he wasn't tested enough on the opening frame, Artur Silovs was thrown into the deep end early in the second. After some back and forth battles in the neutral zone, the puck squirted out to a lone checkers forward who ripped a shot to the netminder's glove save, check. After a destructive first period, Sammy Blais was forced to leave the ice after catching a hit on the boards in his own end. Luckily, he only missed a few shifts. And as he re-entered the ring, he had some choice words channeling his inner Stone Cold Steve Austin moment, Sammy's back. From that point on, he was public enemy number one at Bojangles Coliseum, getting booed with every puck touch. The initial 5 minutes took an eternity as teams exchanged penalties and several stoppages in play. The series was getting rougher by the minute as more were forced through the dressing room. This time it was Tobias Bjornfot, probably butchered that name, after getting crunched into the boards by Chase Waters. Offensive looks felt secondary in the middle frame as most of the first half was spent exchanging pleasantries with one another, but that didn't stop Ty Mueller from making a tremendous solo effort, beating out the Checkers defender to break through and draw a holding call. The power play was unsuccessful, and in fact, the Canucks didn't even have a single shot in the second half of the frame, but with a kill of their own to end the frame, the Canucks held tight with the 2-2 stalemate through 40 minutes. It was a period where both teams forgot the puck existed and tempers flew high. Final shots after two periods were 29-9 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at the third period. The third saw the Canucks offer a much more energetic effort in the offensive zone. Not only did they pick up their first shot in over 10 minutes of play, but they nearly took the early lead. Showing patience, Christian Wolanin worked the line before delivering a seeing eye snapshot. He beat Kakkonen, but couldn't beat the post. In the defensive end, Abbotsford was getting the whole team effort with several forwards laying out for the block, and of course Artur Silovs with some saves. Just before the midway point, Danila Klimovich got clipped awkwardly by the Checkers forwards at the faceoff. With help from the trainer, he remained on the bench and did come back for one more shift at the tail end of the period. Wolanin made friends with the post again, following a tremendous strip from Max Sasson. Stealing the puck, he acted quickly to find a creeping Wolanin in the slot. Unfortunately, he was stymied by the post for a second time in the period. For a second straight period, it was slim pickings for offensive looks as the Canucks managed just 4 shots in the final frame. Although you can't tell from the shot totals, the third period was by far the team's best through the series, with good movement, a few posts, and heavy forechecking. For the fourth time in their last 5 outings, the Canucks needed overtime to settle the score. Could Klimovich do it again? Final shots after 3 periods were 39-13 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at overtime. It took just 16 seconds for the first whistle, and luckily for the Canucks, it was a good whistle. Max Sasson was hauled down while chasing the puck, drawing the early tripping goal to head to their third power play of the game. It was Sasson who grabbed the first good looks, bringing the puck off the post, which had been Kakkonen's best friend all night. But tit for tat, and at the tail end of their man advantage, they took a defensive end trip of their own, sending the Checkers on a power play of their own. And the Canucks paid the price, combining a little bit of everything that bit them throughout the game: penalty, giveaway, and of course, another shot. Phil Di Giuseppe had a prime opportunity to clear the puck out of danger, turning and firing the puck. Unfortunately, Justin Sordiff, the former Vancouver Giant, stuck with it on the boards, quickly sending the puck to Michael Benning. Uncontested, Benning, Jim Benning's nephew, loaded up and released the wrist shot that beat Silovs clean. Ultimately, the Canucks collected just 13 shots and were outshot by a 29 margin. Coming away with the victory would have been a tremendous steal. But the harsh reality was that they needed much more to come up on top in this one. Luckily for the Canucks, they head back home for 3 games and a chance to either take the lead or even take the series in front of their Fraser Valley faithful. Final shots in the game were 42-13. Let's take a look at some final thoughts. It's gut check time. With an opportunity to take the series by the horns, the Abbotsford Canucks put up an uninspiring effort in Game 2, firing just 13 shots in an overtime loss. While they may have played somewhat better than the stat line may show, their game was plagued with too many giveaways, penalties, and unfinished opportunities. Luckily, Artur Silovs continued his playoff reign, turning aside 39 shots in a performance that nearly kept his team ahead, but even he can't carry the load alone every night. A late power play snipe by Michael Benning exposed the cracks that need fixing. Now the series heads to the Abbotsford Center, tied 1-1. Enjoying home ice, the Canucks get 3 straight games to seize control and chase the Calder Cup in front of their Fraser Valley faithful. Manny Malhotra, no stranger to making significant adjustments, will tweak the game plan and expect a recharged squad to hit the ice with fire. Let's take a look at a little quote from Manny Malhotra himself. We're going to have to find a way to be more assertive early in games to make sure we're not playing on our heels. What's next? Game 3 is slated for Tuesday, today, where the Abbotsford Center will host its first Calder Cup Finals bout in franchise history. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Pacific. And not only will you have all your coverage at Canucks Army, but you also have your coverage here on this channel. We will obviously do our game recap following that game. You can also find some coverage for this Abbotsford Canucks Calder Cup Final Game 3 on a friend of the show's, Nothing is Perfect. He was actually going to have a special guest for his stream. I'm not going to tell you who, but definitely check him out as well. But that's going to do it for this game recap. As always, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Canucks content, whether that's Vancouver Canucks or Abbotsford Canucks, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can find us on X at Line Change Van. You can find us on TikTok at the.line.change.po. And feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review us. It is greatly appreciated, of course. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about how Game 3 is going to go? Do you think Abby can do it on home ice? Do you think they can take a 2-1 series lead? Do you think that they may be able to win all 3 games and perhaps put an end to this Calder Cup final and, win it all in these next 3 games and win the Calder Cup on home ice? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.